Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory Srila Prabhupada. I hope you all are well. Welcome you all to His Holiness Chandramauli Maharaja's call. Oops, I think Maharaja's internet has dropped. Let me just start the recording. By the time we're waiting for Maharaj to join.
I'm going to switch off my video.
Hello.
Bandwidth is slow here.
Can you hear me, Maharaj? Oops. Is it me or is I think it's Maharaj. Can everyone see and hear Maharaj? Oh, Maharaj is disconnected. Okay, just be with us. Maharaj will be back. He's back. Hare Krishna. Oops. Yes, I think without video, I might have to go without video today because internet bandwidth is not so good. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining. And today's verse is Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter number 10, verse number 30. The name of the chapter is The Bhagavatam is the answer to all questions. So I'll share my screen and we'll wait for Maharaj to.
Can I see verse number 29 for a minute?
Yeah, sure, Maharaj.
Yeah, okay. Go to verse 30.
30. Okay, Maharaj. Yes.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nididi Yisayor Atmamayam Vidayam Nirabinyata. Tomanas Chandra iti sankalpa kama evacha. When there is a desire to think about the activities of his own energy, then the heart, the seat of the mind, the moon, determination, and all desire becomes manifested. Go back to the translation. When there is a desire to think about the activities of his own energy, then the heart, the seat of the mind, the moon, determination, and all desire becomes manifested. Purport: the heart of the living entity, every living entity, is the seat of the Supersoul, Paramatma, a plenary expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Without his presence, a living entity cannot get into the working energy according to his past deeds. Living entities who are conditioned by the material world are manifested in the creation in terms of respective inclinations inherent in them, and the requisite material body is offered to each and every one of them by the material energy under the direction of the Supersoul. So you get a body according to your consciousness. This is explained in Bhagavad Gita 9:10. When therefore the Supersoul is situated in the heart of the conditioned soul, the requisite mind is manifested in the conditioned soul, and he becomes conscious of his occupation as one is conscious of his duty after waking up from slumber. Therefore, the material mind of the living entity develops when the supersoul on his heart, after which the mind, the controlling deity, moon, and then the activities of the moon, mind, namely thinking, feeling, and willing, all take place. The activities of the mind cannot begin without the determination of the heart. The heart becomes manifested when the Lord wants to see the activities of material creation. Shri Guru Namaha, Namo Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prasad, Utare. Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachagini Nirvisesa Sunyamani Bastyat Yadevi Satani Vanchakalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Vye Vajapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srinivasa Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Oh, the mind, yeah. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. The mind is manifested according to the collective consciousness of the living entity and manifested at the time of birth. The mind is the seat of all emotions, thoughts, and desires. As it says here, the mind finds its seat in the heart. The heart is the seat of desires, and it's expressed through the mind, through the process of thinking, feeling, and willing. And then there is also rejection and acceptance based on the quality of one's thinking, feeling, and willing. What are the activities of the mind? The mind is the CEO of all activities. It directs the soul, or it can misdirect the soul either way. So it says one should control the mind. And never trust the mind, because the mind is filled with so many desires and thoughts and impressions from previous lifetimes and from this lifetime. And any time of these impressions and desires can be inspired by the environment that one is particularly in, or may just manifest just out of apparently coincidence, but it's not. It just happens. Certain thoughts just manifest in the mind. So one has to purify their thoughts by thinking out the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and using the mind to guide the senses, the intelligence under the senses, and the body in the service of the Lord. And the mind should be guided by intelligence. Intelligence is coming from Shastra or Guru or Krishna himself. And when the mind is not geared in that way, then it's the material mind that will take us to any place within the universe accordingly. Therefore, the mind, one should be watched at every moment. And Prabhupada's talking about this. There's a whole series of verses in the 5th canto, 6th chapter, verses 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's all about the mind. And Prabhupada has given purports, but he's also given classes on each one of those verses, which are really interesting, because then we understand how the mind is working. If you don't know how the mind is working, then the mind will trick you to believe things that really have nothing to do with the benefit of life. Mind can just anytime bring out something that has happened in the past, or it might, in a dreamy state, start wondering about the future and start to conjecture about how the future should be. So, the mind is the center of activities, but the mind is not the person. It's the instrument by which the soul is directed towards either Krishna or towards something material. So we have to control the mind and direct the mind. Otherwise, the mind will control you. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati says, never trust your mind, always distrust. He also says the mind is what did he say? The mind is what was that one? He said the mind is mind is a non-devotee. Yeah, the mind is a non-devotee. And therefore, we're not supposed to associate with non-devotees because they take us away from Krishna. So if you associate with your material mind, you're associating with a non-devotee. So therefore, we have to convert the mind into a devotee by bringing in thoughts about Krishna devotional service. And then the mind will start to occupy the realm of the spirit and go beyond the material realm. The thoughts of the mind are constantly coming in, just like the waves of the ocean constantly hit upon the shore. So in that sense, one has to make sure that those thoughts take one towards Krishna and not away from Krishna, or those thoughts are beneficial for my progress in life. Otherwise, you are pretty much being controlled by someone, some element which you think is you, but it's not you. When you stop and you reflect about what you're thinking, then you realize you are not the thoughts that you're thinking, but you're thinking about those thoughts that's coming into your mind. And you can see the distinction between you and the mind. You're watching your mind, you're contemplating the mind, you're reflecting on the mind, but you're not the mind. You are the soul who has a mind, which is covered by the material mind. We also have a spiritual mind, but that'll be revealed when the coverings of the material mind are destroyed through the process of bhakti. So therefore, one has to be very careful in everything we do and allow the mind to control us. The verse in the Bhagavatam says, "Just as a hunter captures a wild animal, but he doesn't simply capture it and leave it. He keeps it very tightly under control, so because at any time that wild animal can break loose and even destroy the master." So in the same way, if we don't control the mind, it can destroy us really fast, because there's a lot of thoughts in the mind that have nothing to do with the benefit of life or the goal of life also. And the mind is a composite of all of our activities in previous lives, because when we die or when we leave this body, the physical body made out of earth, water, fire, air, and ether, that leaves us. But then the subtle body, mind, intelligence, and false ego carries the soul to the next body. That is called transmigration of the soul from one body to another. How does the soul go to one body to another? By the power of the mind. So the mind in the subtle body drags us from body to body. But when you destroy the material mind and create the spiritual mind, then the spiritual mind will deliver you back to the spiritual world. But as long as there's any desire to enjoy this material world, even a pinch, Prabhupada said, in order to go back to Godhead, you have to be completely free from any desire to enjoy this material world. And that's not so easy, because desires are also subtle. But if we take shelter of the process of bhakti, especially the chanting of the holy name, Chaito Darpana Marjanam, the chanting of the holy name cleans the mirror of the mind and brings the actual transcendental mind into view, the real mind. The material mind reflects what's inside outside. Prabhupada would give the example how the mind is a reflection of its own nature. Whereas one man, he's an old man, and he's deaf. And his wife is in the kitchen cooking. He's in the living room. And he calls to his wife, "My dear wife, when will supper be ready?" And she calls back, "Just be quiet. I'm still cooking. Read the paper." And then after some time, he calls again. And she again responds. And then he's thinking, what's happening? I'm calling to my wife and she is not answering me. Well, she is answering, but he's deaf. He can't hear. So, and he says, oh, my wife must be deaf. Actually, he's deaf. He's thinking she's deaf because he can't hear her calling back. So this is how the mind works. When we see an object on the outside, we reflect it or analyze it according to the nature of the mind, whether it's something beneficial or something that we want to reject. Sankalpa vikalpa means to accept and reject the thoughts of the mind. So therefore, when the whole process of bhakti yoga centers around the mind, keeping the mind focused on Krishna and devotional activities. And then the mind becomes purified, and then the transcendental spiritual mind becomes revealed. As we know, we hear from Shastras that the soul also has a body, and that body is not material, it's spiritual, as the soul is spiritual. But the soul in its spiritual body has a spiritual mind, has the spiritual senses. Just like we have senses and mind in this body, these are covering over the spiritual mind, which is our real mind. So to uncover that mind, Chaito Darpana Marjan, purifying the mind through the chanting of the holy name and engaging in devotional service to the Lord. And gradually, if we avoid offenses, the progress becomes very quick. If we commit offenses, then the process is slowed down. And if we commit very serious offenses, then the process is checked. So therefore, we have to very carefully watch your mind and make sure your mind doesn't control you and drag you all over the universe. Control the mind and engage the mind in devotional service by using the intelligence as the feature to control the mind. The intelligence is the principle of Guru and Shastra. So we get intelligence from Guru, we get intelligence from Shastra, we get intelligence from Krishna himself, and we guide the mind with that intelligence. So the mind becomes our friend, as Krishna says. The mind is the friend of the enemy, of the conditioned soul, and his enemy as well. So right next to us is our best friend and worst enemy. Sometimes we think out there are enemies, but there's no enemies out there. As when Prahlad Maharaj was challenged by his father, Hiranyakashipu, when he was speaking the glories of Lord Vishnu to his father, Hiranyakashipu became angry and said, "You're siding with my enemy." Prahlad Maharaj said, "Actually, my dear father, the only enemy you have is your own mind. That's your enemy. So make the mind a friend by bringing in thoughts of Krishna and devotional service. And there's other ways to control the mind, that is working for the welfare of others. If you want to control your mind, find ways to serve others for their benefit, and that will help you control the mind and keep your mind from dwelling on your own situation. Of course, we have to take care of ourselves, but we make that a little effort. Not that we focus all on ourselves throughout the day. We focus on others, how we can serve others, and how we can perform devotional service in such a way that the activities lead us closer and closer to Krishna and not farther away from Krishna. So yeah, we have to work with this mind. We all have a mind. The mind is a rascal. We see sometimes a devotee practices Krishna consciousness for 50 years, and after 50 years they fall down back to the material world. That means there was still some attachment to this material world. Still, they didn't make an endeavor to purify their mind. completely. It's like when you, what is it? When you're weeding a garden, you have to make sure every weed is out. Even the smallest little weed, if it's neglected, can again grow and become the source of choking out the plants in the garden. Okay, so there's a lot we can say on the mind. You can read the 6th chapter, the 5th canto, also the 11th, I think the 11th chapter of the 5th canto also. Both of those chapters are very much geared towards the mind. That's a lot of information that's coming from Shastra about the mind. You read about it, then you know how your mind is working and how to control it. And of course, it says there's 3 ways to control the mind: engage it fully in devotional service, 2, work for the welfare of others, and 3 is to meditate constantly on the instructions of one's spiritual master. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for explaining so nicely about the mind and how we can make it a friend and use it in the spiritual life. Devotees, if you have any questions, comments, realizations, please unmute yourself and ask. It will also be nice to have your darshan if you can keep your cameras on. I know Maharaj's bandwidth is not so good, so apologies, we will not be able to take Maharaj's darshan, but at least you all can give your darshan to Maharaj. And Krishna Kaviraj Prabhu, just before you, we have a question from Rohini Mataji sitting before even the class. And she has asked.
I go. Always take the questions online. The chat
Okay.
questions will come later.
Okay, sure, Maharaj, sure. Yeah, Krishna Kaviraj Prabhu, please go ahead.
You could use the chat questions when we run out of regular questions coming from the devotees that are visible online.
Sure, sure, Maharaj, we'll do that. Thank you. Krishna Kaviraj Prabhu.
Find it's easier to maneuver this whole service.
Yes, correct. Thank you.
Thank you, Satchibama Masterji. Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, so in principle, having the association of devotees should help us with the mind, and the association of non-devotees is going to make things worse for us. But sometimes, even in the association of devotees, let's say, for example, a group of devotees, there'll be one or a few devotees that have the loudest voice, or they're considered more senior, maybe because they've been practicing for a long time or whatever reason. But those voices may be actually speaking nonsense rather than actually helping anyone. So how do we deal with these situations? What are we supposed to learn from them? How are we supposed to deal with them?
Well, you have a few options. One, you can leave the environment. 2, you can explain what you think is the actual standard rather than what they're saying in a very humble and inquisitive type of approach. My dear sir, you're saying this, but I have heard from other sources that it's like this. If you always be respectful for devotees, even if you don't agree with them. And then present your inquiries in that same manner, or respectfully. You can question authority, but you question authority for clarification, for understanding, not as a principle of challenging, but principle of clarifying. Keep the etiquette, and then the dialogue will always be always say fruitful. If they get angry when you chant, you know, then you can either walk away or try to work around that anger, either one. Oh, interpersonal relationships takes fine intelligence to see, because not every interpersonal situation is the same. Each person, people are different. Principles are generally the same, but how you apply the principles, that requires some experience or some intelligence. You don't deal with an authority the same way you deal with someone who is on the level of peer group. You have to see that. That's just common. We even learn that in life in general. We deal with different types of people, and we deal with them differently according to the person. So, you know, don't criticize, but also inquire when inquiry is required. Can you give me a tissue? Tissue. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, I'm always still confused with the difference between the mind, intelligence, and consciousness. What is the difference?
You want an example?
Yes, please.
Consciousness is the expression of the soul. Consciousness is you. The mind is the impressions upon the consciousness. Example would be, imagine the sky. Now, the sky is unlimited in one sense. There's no limit to the sky. And then you see, if you look up in the sky, sometimes you see birds, sometimes you see clouds, sometimes you see moving vehicles, airplanes and others. And you may also see other things within the sky. But none of those things that you see in the sky touch the sky. Although it looks like it, but they don't touch the sky at all. So in the same way, the thoughts that come in and out of the mind do not touch our consciousness. But because we identify with them, then they become the reality of our identification. So the intelligence is the discriminating factor between what is favorable and what is unfavorable. The mind is thinking, feeling, and willing. The intelligence is determination and discrimination. Give you an example, difference between the mind and the intelligence. You're standing up high on the top of a building, and you're looking down, and the mind says, jump. But then the intelligence says, no. The mind will do that. It'll just spring and say anything at any time. But it has to be controlled by the intelligence, and we have to connect the intelligence with the soul, or with transcendental knowledge. You control the mind through the intelligence and direct the mind through the intelligence also. But the thoughts of the mind never touch the soul, although they appear to. And because we identify with the thoughts, then we are identifying with the mind. But when the mind brings in thoughts of something spiritual, then we can identify that because it's related to our consciousness. But everything material is not related to our consciousness. Consciousness is pure. Consciousness never touches matter. Just like the objects in the sky never touch the sky. Is that clear?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, thank you.
Yeah, but you have to watch your mind so the mind doesn't take you where you don't want to go.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
But always put, positive thoughts or spiritual thoughts in the mind. Don't allow it to ruminate over all of the objects of the material world. Don't go shopping. Somadatri.
Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances and glories to Srila Prabhupada and glories to all devotees here. This
You're
Mataji, you're muted.
This purport, the end, we read that the heart manifests when the Lord want to see the activities of material creation. Which activities does this mean? General or some special activities?
well, everything.
Everything general.
Yeah, Lord is not judgmental. We're
Mhm.
judgmental.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, now you can go to the chat question. Sukava, you're also on mute.
Sorry, Guru Maharaj, I've just taken over Satyabhama Mataji for a few minutes because she has got some cold. So please accept my humble obeisances. Oh, glory to Srila Prabhupada. I will read the question on the chat now. Sorry, I can't see that question on the chat because I logged on later on. Mataji, if you can just retype, or do you want to speak up?
It's from Rohini.
Rohini Mataji, is it? Okay.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, because I logged in later on, I can't see that question.
Do you want me to read the question?
Yes, please, Kishore Mataji,
Rohini,
please do that.
I have a question. How can we remove aparadhs while chanting?
Perfect. Thank you so much. Mataji typed in as well, so thank you.
well, first of all, you have to be aware what are the operations and to avoid them. But if you commit an aparad, by the power of your chanting, that will remove the reactions of those aparads. Unless you commit an aparad against a Vaishnava, then the chanting will not have any effect. Then you have to take the process for getting rid of those aparads against Vaishnavas. And that means to go to the Vaishnava, offer your obeisances, sincerely apologize for committing the offense and beg forgiveness, and ask for some service to do. That's the process for getting rid of aparads for Vaishnavas. All other aparads are destroyed by the power of the holy name. So now the apparats for chanting, they're also very difficult to remove unless we become aware and very carefully avoid those apparats. That's why we recite regularly the 10 offenses to the holy name, so we become aware of them and how to avoid them. Because if you don't know what to avoid, you might think whatever you're doing is in line with Krishna consciousness. So therefore, there is what is called things that are favorable for our devotional service and things that are unfavorable. Things that are unfavorable, obviously, are within the category of aparat. That's one category of unfavorable things, is aparat. So there's offenses to the holy name, offenses to Krishna, offenses to the deity of Krishna, offenses to the Dham, and offenses to the Vaishnavas. All categories of offenses can be destroyed by constant chanting, continuous chanting of the holy name. As I mentioned, the only exception is Vaishnava aparad. That has to be done on the personal level, as was explained.
Thank you, Maharaj. Rohini Mataji said, thank you so much.
Just keep chanting and the effects of the apparatus will diminish.
Very nice question, Rohini Mataji. Thank you so much. And any other questions, please? Guru Maharaj, I have a question while others are thinking. Mind, you mentioned that mind, whatever mind thinks, does not touch the soul. But sometimes the impression of the past activities and stuff is so strong that if we come back into the situation, you do feel inside that, oh, again we are in that situation, and the same feeling comes up. Is it just the playing of the mind, or is it something?
The example is when you go to sleep at night, you dream.
Yeah.
And those thoughts in the dream,
Hmm.
you identify in the dream with those thoughts, but they have nothing to do with you.
Okay.
So this material world is a dream.
Mhm.
There's the night dream and there's the daydream.
Hmm.
The daydream is longer, but it's still a dream. We're dreaming we're a man, we're a woman, we're from this country. Whatever you identify in relationship to yourself
Hmm.
is part of the dream. That's all. Your real identity is Jiva Sarupai, Krishna Nichadas, turning to, and your real activity is to engage in loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord. These are the two realities, both of activity and of identity.
Okay.
The other forms of identity and activity are features of the material energy, which are called ahankara, or adopt consciousness, something we adopt due to our association with matter.
Oh, okay. Okay. Got it.
Adopting these things because we associate with matter, that's all. But that adaptation has been there life after life. And it becomes somewhat solidified after some time. And it seems that what is real is not real, and what is not real is real.
Yeah, true.
We
So
call it constitutional and conditional. You're
Yeah.
constitutionally a soul, and you're conditionally a body. The body is a conditioned identity, and it changes. Your identity as a soul is eternal.
Mm.
Being in the material world, you're reinforced by our conditional nature.
Yes.
And the activities we perform in the material world are just adding to that conditioning.
Mm.
Stop material activities and perform spiritual activities. And then you're bringing out your constitutional nature, your real nature. And at one point, you'll get different realizations as you apply this knowledge, as you make progress.
Yes, so true, Guru Maharaj. Yes, do experience that as well.
You get is that you understand that you're different than the body you have. That's one of the preliminary realizations. The second one is you start realizing your relationship with Krishna.
Mm.
How Krishna is always with you, how Krishna is always helping you, how Krishna never leaves you even for a fraction of a second. How Krishna is taking care of you every minute, how Krishna is providing everything you need, how Krishna is protecting you. You get at these realizations as you make progress. Then you start understanding what Krishna does, why he does what he does, how he interacts with his devotees, how he interacts with his eternal associates, what's the spiritual world like. So your realizations continue to develop in higher and higher levels as you practice devotional service. But your first realization should be, at least on a theoretical level, I'm not the body that I have. It's not me.
Mm.
And what happens to the body doesn't happen to me. But I'm in the body and therefore identify with the body as being me. Prabhupada said, the body is dear to the soul because we live in the body. Just like you live in the house. So you take care of your house because you live in it.
True.
But doesn't mean you're the house. You drive your car and you change the oil, and you put gasoline in it and you tune it up, but doesn't mean you're the car.
True, true. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. That makes so much of sense now. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Okay,
Sukama Mataji. Anjali
okay, you're
Kumari Mataji.
taking
Sorry, you
over.
were saying something, Sukama?
No, are you taking over? Then I'll
Yes,
wait.
yes, I'm taking
Okay,
one now.
perfect.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Anjali Kumari Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you. Guru Maharaj, you were telling that we can control our mind in three ways, and one of them was work. Am I audible right?
What's the connection with who's talking? Oh, Rasavilasini?
It's me, Guru Maharaj.
Rasavilasini?
No, it's
Anjali.
Anjali Kumari Mataji.
Anjali Kumari Mataji.
Anjali Kumari, where are you?
Katihar, Guru Maharaj.
Can't see you anywhere.
Uh,
Let me
my video is on.
Okay, now we got you. We got you. Right, that was me.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you. Guru Maharaj, while you were telling how can we control our mind, one of them was to work and help others. So what I understood is that serving the devotees, it means, right? Not the extended family, because I have read that if we are serving our family or community or nation, it's a kind of extended sense gratification. Can you please explain a little bit?
Yes, but it's also from the material point of view, it's the way to control the mind. So those who work for the benefit of others, even on the material level, their minds are controlled, and they're generally free from anxiety because they're just concerned about helping others. Their only anxiety is to help others. So they don't focus so much on their own needs, although they do take care of whatever they have to do in order to do their service nicely. But for us, it's to serve Vaishnavas. Think of ways to serve the devotees. And your mind will always be in the best position to receive Krishna's mercy. And Krishna will take care of you simply by doing that. He'll make your life wonderful. So if you serve the devotees nicely. Because that's very dear to him also.
So, Guru Maharaj, I should understand that whenever I get an opportunity to help anyone, I should take it.
No, you should look for opportunities. You shouldn't wait for the opportunity to come. You have to be proactive in that area. You can take the opportunity.
Guru Maharaj.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you should look for ways to serve devotees. Think of ways to serve devotees. Make plans on how to serve the devotees. It's a proactive program.
So I should always volunteer and keep on looking for all the opportunities I can find to help.
Yeah. First, give yourself enough time for your own sadhana and your own taking care of your own personal needs. But spend your time in devotional service serving the devotees. Don't think, well, I have my service and you have your service, and therefore don't bother me because I'm in my service. I make your needs my service, your concerns my service. Giving knowledge is one way, giving prasadam is another way, giving gifts is another way. Taking the association of devotees and inspiring devotees by your example in their association. Yeah, so many ways to serve the devotees. It's unlimited.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, I have one more question from yesterday's verse, text number 20. May I ask?
Yeah.
Yesterday we were discussing about food and should take care of our health. So, Guru Maharaj, I was reading Nectar of Instruction, and the first text told that we should control the urge of our tongue. And then in the purport, Srila Prabhupada quoted Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where he said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us to avoid very palatable dishes even while eating prasadam. If we offer palatable dishes to the deity with the intention of eating such nice food, we are involved in trying to satisfy the demands of the tongue. So, Guru Maharaj, we can control the tongue only by taking prasadam. So, a foodie person who thinks that, okay, I will prepare nice bhoga, but I'll offer and eat, so that is wrong, right?
So we always say the nice things should be offered to the Lord. And then you take the maha, you take a taste of the maha. You don't eat maha, you just honor maha. And for your regular food, then you cook more simple. For the deity, you cook very nicely, make it very opulent, very tasty, and then you can honor that. It's like somebody gives you a sweet that's very tasty, you take a little bite and then pass it on. So you taste. Maha is for tasting, regular prasadam is for nourishment and for eating. That's the standard.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj, for
clarity. Maha is meant to be distributed to everyone. So you give that to your friends and family members. You'll see, people in India, if you offer them a little prasadam, they'll just take a little taste. It's just the culture. They taste it. They don't eat it. It's because that's how it's understood. Taste. So Maha is to be tasted and honored. And regular prasadam is our daily affair. And keep that more in the area of simplicity. Not too much ghee, not too much spices, not too much milk products.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. It really helped.
And you'll be healthy that way too.
Hi,
And
this is
mind
Gopi.
will be
Oh,
more
yeah.
peaceful.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Anjali Kumari. Very nice question.
Okay.
Any other questions, devotees? And Gauri Priya Mataji? Yeah, sorry.
Sukava's back. I don't know. Satyabhama's back again.
Yes, Maharaj, I'm back.
Okay.
Gauri Priya Mataji, please. You're on mute, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Hare Krishna, dear Maharaj. Please accept my humble apology. I'm extremely sorry for all the sound. Actually, regards practicing Krishna consciousness, like not for example, but yes, there is this example of 50 years practicing. You were saying, like, during the lecture, you said that even after 50 years practicing, and actually very good practicing Krishna consciousness, like, it's still, person can fall down. And you mentioned that because not caring, like to take out some weeds, there's some roots take out. Appeared the question like, how intense should be the sadhana, how intense should preach that these roots, these desires, take them out.
Yeah, well.
Was I audible?
Yeah, it's a process. It's a process. You can't expect to reach perfection right away. It takes time. So, but enjoy the process. The process is enjoyable. Chant, serve, read the scriptures, take prasadam, make friends and associate with devotees. It's a nice process. You don't even have to worry about making progress. It happens. And you start feeling happy. You start thinking less about all of your material desires and how you want to fulfill them. The process works naturally. Be patient. Utsaham nishchaya darya tattat karma bhavartanam. Utsaham, enthusiasm. Nishchaya, determination. Utsaham nishchaya, darya means patience. Krishna will reward your activities in due course of time. It's a process. But the process becomes fun and easy when there is nice association with devotees. We don't take association with devotees, it's difficult to practice Krishna consciousness. The mind is always complaining about something.
That's really like that. Without a consideration impossible to go over some things which are disturbing a lot.
I'm not sure, Maharaj, if you understood. I did not understood what Mataji is saying. Do you want to repeat, Mataji?
She's traveling, so it's hard for her to
Yes,
communicate.
yeah.
I said that without devotees, without the association, it's extremely very hard to practice because the mind takes so much away. It's horrible.
Practicing, it's very hard, but it's sometimes impossible. If I tell you stay in your house and just live in your house by yourself and don't talk to anybody, that's punishment. We are social beings. We interact with others. And that's how we find happiness in life, through our interaction with others, even on the material world. And just like you saw during the COVID time when they locked people down, that was the worst thing. People went crazy, and they even broke down the lockdowns just to get back to a more sane type of existence. Yeah, so sadhu sangha, association with devotees, chant, dance, take prasadam, share Krishna consciousness, make plans to work together to serve the Lord in different ways. There's a variety of Krishna consciousness is not limited, it's full of variety. But everyone should have a good friend in Krishna consciousness they can talk to and can open up their mind to. If we don't, then it becomes difficult. The mind becomes secretive, and then it harbors the wrong ideas. Beyond, as it says, the mind is a thing in itself. It can make a heaven out of hell and a hell out of heaven. But if you engage your mind, then you can control your mind. Your mind becomes your friend. Okay, I think I have to end here. There's other things that we have to do. So, we'll stop here. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you for your participation, and dive into the upcoming verses. Read, and that way you're ready to ask questions and get into the discussions.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Thank you for your time and association. Thank you so much, devotees, for joining.
Sorry, I can't believe I got something else is happening.
It's okay, Maharaj.
I'm in the middle of a yatra here in Govardhan. But I'm fortunate I was able to get this time every day, so it's nice to have the opportunity to associate with the devotees and discuss Krishna consciousness. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Maharaj.
Hari.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Hare
Thank you so
Krishna.
much, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari.
Hare Hare.
Thank you everyone for
Hare
joining.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Sutama. Thank you so much for your help today.